Breaking right now, President Trump making history in Vietnam, holding his second summit with North Korean leader Kim Jong-un. But that's not the story that's getting all the attention tonight. Tonight, the world is focused on this man, Michael Cohen, President Trump's former personal attorney, testifying today ahead of his trip to prison, which starts in just 2 months, because the Dems scheduled it that way, quite deliberately. They found out that the date the president was going to talk one-on-one with Kim Jong-un to work on denuclearization, kind of an important thing, right? And then they set the date for Michael Cohen. We're all over that story tonight. Cohen saying there's no collusion, but maybe there's a few other things, whatever that means. And let's not forget, as many Republicans actually reminded us today on TV, how can you believe anything this guy says? I mean, he's hardly the guy. You had one as your star witness, right? Watch.
The first announced witness for the 116th Congress is a guy who is going to prison in 2 months for lying to Congress.
Let that sink in. He's going to prison for lying to Congress, and he's the star witness to Congress.
I'm going to prison as a result of it.
You're a con?
A convicted felon.
Pathological liar.
A convicted perjurer.
A liar, a cheater, a convicted liar.
Mr. Cohen, you claim that you've lied, but you're not a liar. Just to set the record straight, if you lied, you are a liar.
Ouch. To set the record straight, if you lied, you're a liar. Yeah, that makes sense, right? Well, that was Georgia Congressman Jody Hice there at the end, and he joins me right now. Congressman, telling it like it is. Why is someone who lied to Congress, now a witness in a case against the president, suddenly credible? Why do they think he's not going to lie now? Why are the Dems willing to give him so much mileage here?
Well, that is the question of the day. I mean, this is the first time in American history that we have had someone who is a convicted felon for lying to Congress, who has then been invited back to Congress to give testimony. It's just unprecedented that this has ever happened. And of course, the reason with your question is because this whole hearing is about one thing, and that is to try to find something upon which to build a foundation ultimately to lead towards impeaching the president. And so they have to start with trying to find someone who is a convicted felon, who is a liar, who might give something that the Democrats would try to run on.
And why might he do that? Is he trying to, as I said, maybe get off for good behavior? I mean, he's got a jail sentence. He's going in a couple of months. Does he think that this is going to help him down the road? I mean, why put himself in this position? And I get what you're saying on the Dems.
Yeah, I mean, that's a good question. But even today, he did give some hints toward the fact, and even admitted that he's had some people approach him about book deals, about movie deals, about all that sort of stuff. And he absolutely said he has every intention of writing a book. So there's a lot of money in this. Yeah, there's a lot of money in this for him. So he's going to say and do whatever's necessary.
I see. And the Democrats are just willing to eat it up along the way. I mean, I find that rather disturbing. And as you know, sir, we've been doing a lot of coverage on Venezuela. And when you see the craziness that has happened, and a different set of facts, of course, but clearly ungovernable right now, what do you think of Washington, D.C., and this sort of animosity that just keeps building between the left and the right? And Mueller and this whole case are front and center in that animosity. Do you have some concerns? Because it's awfully hard to govern when you got this giant distraction going on and you get so much hate, I think, because I think the Democrats really do hate this president.
There's no question. And in fact, that hatred has absolutely blinded them to common sense and to the ability to legislate, the ability to work in a nonpartisan way on issues that really most of us agree on, such as securing the border. They all agreed on this just a few short years ago, but now because of who is in the White House, all that has changed. And we've seen more evidence of that even in the hearing today. It's all about, it's just being driven by hatred for the president, and let's find something, let's find anything upon which we can build a case against him and impugn him and ultimately begin the process of impeachment.
You know what, that tells me they're putting politics before country, politics before patriotism, and that is wrong, because they really should be looking out for the people and the best interest of America right now.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much, Congressman.
Thank you.
It's good to see you.
The radical Dems today revealing themselves with a political charade. a charade that was designed to take all attention away from the president's mission halfway around the world. Here we go.
This is not a partisan pursuit here. I think ultimately what we're demonstrating is patriotism.
President Donald J. Trump brand comes first, not the American people.
Are you aware of any videotapes that may be the subject of extortion or blackmail?
Is there a love child?
Some of my colleagues can't handle the truth.
Amazing. Sickening, in point of fact. Congresswoman Carol Miller, a Republican member of the House Oversight Committee, and she blasted Cohen today. Congresswoman, great to have you with us. I have to say that I should imagine that after having to sit through that, you wanted to take a shower. That is one of the worst events I have seen put on by either political party. Your thoughts?
It was a very long 6 hours.
A long 6 hours? Yes. I would think that it was a long 6 hours, but the testimony from the convicted liar, a liar convicted of lying to Congress amongst his other lies, how in the world did the Republican Party end up permitting this to coincide with such an important initiative on part of the president in denuclearization of the Korean Peninsula and his second summit with Kim?
That's exactly right, but you know that we're not in control at this point.
No, I do. I'm just wondering why in the world y'all couldn't come up with a way to stop the Democrats, because certainly the Democrats, when y'all were in power, did a lot to forestall Republican initiatives.
Well, it was a waste of our time, and as I said in the committee, the voters in West Virginia did not send me to Congress to waste time or money.
Yeah, no doubt about it. So what are you going to do? I mean, is this going to be 2 years of long meetings for the Republican Party, or are you all going to learn how to fight?
Well, it quite possibly could be a lot of long meetings, but we'll get along. We'll take control somehow.
You'll get along. I'm just wondering how the American people are going to get along. And when the first witness of the 116th Congress turns out to be a man convicted of lying to Congress, and he's put forward as the witness for the first substantive hearing, if you can call this substantive, meeting of this new Congress.
Well, and I think you were exactly right. It was to take the attention away from what our president is trying to do across the ocean.
And is the Republican Party going to start supporting this man? I mean, he is already a historic president in 2 years. It's truly remarkable to see the Republican Party incapable of fighting, incapable of, it seems, political strategy. Witness today's hearing and its timing and the lack of obvious and successful resistance on the part of the GOP to its timing. Where are we going to see the Republican Party? Is there a sense that the Republican Party is going to remain split, rhinos and people who support President Trump?
I think you saw a good example today, because this whole hearing was a flop. They were trying everything they could do to impugn our president, and it didn't work.
I don't know quite yet how to judge that. One thing did work. It served as the excuse for the national left-wing media to avoid their eyes from the narrative of the president's negotiations and his initiatives while in Hanoi to meet with Kim Jong-un and to carry out a successful second summit. So give us your view, your judgment about what the effect of today's hearing. Do you believe that the Democrats put on this show hearing, this sordid parade of absurd questions, for the most part from the left? What's the net?
Well, I called it a circus, because that's exactly what it was. They were colluding together to try and make our president look terrible, and it didn't work. They looked terrible. It was all about old news and fake news.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. I think that the American people, if they watched it, saw who the Dems, by the way, if people don't know who these Dems are, I don't know what to say about our collective national intelligence because they've been on display for some time. But the very difficult part for me is to watch the Republican leaders in Congress not successfully to have failed to forestall this hearing to begin with. It just doesn't augur well for the Congress and where you all are going to be going over the course of the next 2 years. And I thank you for having the guts and to stand up for the president and to attack directly the testimony of a convicted liar. As you suggest, it shouldn't have been necessary.
No, it shouldn't. And what people need to remember is our economy is wonderful. Our unemployment is down. And I know in my state I've seen a huge difference since President Trump has been elected.
Mark Meadows, Congressman Meadows, along with Jim Jordan, fighting along with you against this sordid, sorry mess today that was called a hearing. He wants a criminal referral for Cohen. Do you agree that it should be done?
A criminal referral?
Yes.
I'm not sure exactly what you're getting at.
Well, what I'm getting at is what's called a criminal referral, which Congressman Meadows has called for because of foreign lobbying violations that he revealed in his testimony today. But that's
Yes,
a story.
he did.
That's a
Yes, he
story
did.
for another day.
Yes.
Congresswoman, great to have you with us. We appreciate it.